I have reviewed the transcript, the record from our motion hearing.
Она сейчас огласит слушание, огласит. Sorry.
All right, and I stated what the law was clearly at the end of that motion.
И также она огласит заключение, законное заключение в конце этого записи.
And the defendant, Ms. Gumaleva, has been defaulted.
Can you say it other way?
Ms. Gumaleva has been defaulted.
Вы
можете так и переводить под дефолтом, что я поняла уже.
Okay, she understood the word. Sorry, I want to be accurate.
Вы можете просто говорить, что дефолт, так и говорить по-русски.
Okay.
Какие-то термины вполне себе можно, я в них уже разобралась.
Okay, she understood the terminology.
Okay.
I can say so. I meant a little different, but that's fine.
Okay. And what that means is that the defendant cannot participate in the case.
Вы не можете участвовать в этом слушании.
The court set this hearing to determine whether or not the proposed property division is equitable.
И суд утверждает, что разделение имущества, я так понимаю, что будет таким, каким решит суд.
And as I said at the motion hearing, that burden is on the plaintiff to show that the property division is equitable.
И также она утверждает, что разделение имущества на стороне заявителя.
The defendant can observe, but cannot participate.
Вы можете рассмотреть это, но вы не можете участвовать в этом разделении.
Ms. Gumaleva?
Я понимаю, что было указано, что я не могу участвовать по существу дела, однако я прошу разрешить высказаться мне по процессуальным вопросам.
Defendant understand about property division. She cannot be participate in it, but she has to tell something details about the process.
Yes. I prepared in English. I can read it, so maybe it will be easier. Your Honor, I understand what I have been informed. I cannot participate in the merits of case. However, I request permission to speak on procedural matters as they concern the legitimacy of the current hearing. Due to procedural violation that may affect the course of the case, and as the opportunity to speak in order to ensure the administration of justice and the legality of the process.
Ms. Quist?
Your Honor, I think I can clear this up. Ms. Gumaleva objects to our order because it states that the court was fully advised on the premises on February 28th. That's what it all boils down to.
Objection.
Language.
Objection.
And, Your Honor, it's my
Ms. Gumaleva, you need to wait. I'll give you a chance to speak after Ms. Quist is done, okay?
The orders are very similar otherwise. Words have meaning though. It's not just procedural. Words have meaning, and the reason she wants that removed, I suspect, is to state that you were not advised of the premises on February 28th. So I have not taken that out. I believe this court was advised of the situation. Both parties were represented by counsel. There was an interpreter present. Both counsel argued on behalf of their clients, and this court correctly refused to set aside the default. So I am unwilling to take that out of the order. If this court orders it, obviously that is what this court orders. But otherwise the two orders look very similar. And I know
isn't this up for motion day for Thursday? This is not noticed for today, is it?
It is not, but that is what the heart of the matter, that's what she wants to speak to you about. I know she's entitled to a motion for reconsideration. I don't have an objection to that. But I would like to get something done. I would like to have the damages hearing. I have tried to get the order entered. Obviously, I've been unsuccessful. However, if we could get a couple of things done today and maybe get the hearing done on damages, perhaps that will streamline the process a little bit.
All right. I think for court efficiency that we should go ahead and take those, take that testimony.
Thank you.
Ms. Gumaleva?
Yes, can I also have some speech? Как будет лучше, если я буду читать то, что я написала на английском? Вы понимаете мой акцент? Или же лучше, чтобы переводчик переводил? Как для вас более удобно?
Do you understand her accent if she continues reading for you, or would you like her to speak and then interpreter will translate it?
Ms. Quist?
This is within the court's discretion. Your Honor.
Are you understanding her when she speaks?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can, but if I would ask you to slow down, that would
Sure.
help. Okay.
Читайте, читайте, если она скажет, то вы придется вам помедленнее немножко.
Да, я поняла. MCR 3.211F says within 21 days after the court renders an opinion of the settlement agreement in place on the record, the moving party must submit a judgment order or motion settle a judgment order unless the court has granted an extension. So court didn't grant any extension. And that means that plaintiff's attorney was required to submit a proposed order for the hearing on the 28th, within 21 days after the hearing. So that's supposed to be 21 of March. However, she failed to do so. So this block.
All right, let me stop you just a moment, okay?
Yes.
Again, this was noticed up for a hearing this coming Thursday, is my
Yes, but
understanding.
we can-
Okay,
we-
hold on. Ms. Quist, are you in agreement that we just deal with this now?
Sure. Absolutely. I want to
Okay.
get this done.
Okay, then
So-
go ahead, Ms. Gumaleva.
То есть, получается, мы сегодня проводим damages hearing, и потом в четверг мы проводим objection по приказу. Правильно я понимаю?
Is today we're doing only damaging hearing, and then Thursday will be, как вы сказали, последний object?
Приказ по слушанию 28-го.
Order of hearing on the 28th.
Okay, that's why I was asking Ms. Quist if she objected to dealing with that motion that is scheduled for Thursday today. And she said yes, or she doesn't object.
No, but on Thursday we scheduled motion to show cause. It's about plaintiff to
Right. I think you have more than one motion.
Незаконно опубликовали видео.
Happy to deal with that. Thank you.
Незаконная публикация видео.
It's about illegal publishing video.
I'm happy.
Right, I
That's what-
understand. I
Yes.
understand, but I thought we had more than one motion for Thursday.
There-
Yes,
that's
also we have objections, but we cannot proceed with damages hearing if we don't have order, first of all. And second of all, I didn't have time because Mrs. Quiz didn't, она не дала свой order, она не дала proposed order. И это было, скорее всего, сознательно и намеренно.
Because she didn't provide the order in the purpose.
Okay, I
So I didn't have time.
we will, I
I didn't
understand, we
have
will,
time to feel my emotion for reconsideration, and I feel это нарушает мои права.
Yeah, it's breaking her rules.
okay, I understand, I understand. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna address that now. So go ahead, Ms.
Это
Gumaleva.
будет процедурно неправильно. Это будет ошибкой.
It would be a mistake in the procedure of the hearing, and it would be illegal.
All right, Ms. Gumaleva, continue. You started with the court rule, which I'm very familiar with. Did you have anything else you wanted to say on that issue?
Продолжайте.
Absolutely, yeah. I can say all everything what I am thinking about this issue. Can I speak? We can remove this objection to today. I wouldn't mind, because that's me who wants this order become what's the word? Like я хочу, чтобы приказ уже вступил в силу, чтобы наконец-то подать свой motion for reconsideration. Просто давайте переводите, я потом.
It's in her interest that this order will become start becoming legal, and that's her
As soon as it's possible. Yeah.
as soon as possible. Yes.
Yeah, это не я тянула с приказом, и это вообще не моя вина.
That was not her
Но
fault.
я с удовольствием сейчас I'm ready to say about objection. We can move it for today if you want.
Yeah, she's ready to continue.
Okay, that's fine.
Продолжайте читать.
Хорошо. So this так. This blocked my feeling of my motion of for reconsideration. As under rule 2119F, I cannot file such a motion until the entry of the order deciding the motion.
And Ms. Quist said she agrees. She does not disagree. She agrees with that.
Госпожа Куис согласилась с этим, она не согласилась.
Но она не подала приказ.
But she did not
Почему?
file the order.
Если она согласна с этим, почему она не подала приказ вовремя?
If she
Это
agrees,
очень похоже на сознательную манипуляцию процессом.
if she agrees with that, why she did not file the order on time, and it looks like it was made on purpose.
Okay, a motion for reconsideration cannot be filed until an order is entered. So you are correct, and your
Yes.
timeline is preserved.
Yes.
Вы правы, и ваше время предусмотрено. Просто заявление не может быть подано, пока не вынесется приговор суда.
Okay.
Okay.
I have complied a meritorious defense and good cause as required MCR 3.2.210 and MCR 2603D. And additionally, I have proven the extent of extrinsic and intrinsic fraud, along with other errors made in the entry of default, as required by MCR 2.612. And I have demonstrated palpable errors as outlined in 2.119F. Furthermore, I have gathered numerous 8 pieces of evidence showing what either my former attorney acted in the interests of plaintiff or was completely incompetent and unable to provide this adequate defense. Я могу их сейчас дать суду.
Перечислить.
Вы
можете перечислить их.
Да, я могу их перечислить прямо сейчас, если необходимо. Но это займет какое-то время, поэтому если вы можете перевести, да, что.
If it's needed, she can list all that has been done, not in order by the plaintiff attorney. My opinion, what plaintiff's counsel did not submit the proposed order on time because that was her plan all along, to accept the proposed order right at the damages hearing, or how it appears now with, как бы сказать, задним числом. Как сказать, задним числом? But the date that was in the past.
Okay. And it's likely what she will attempt to push through this default judgment today, despite its contradicting MCR 3.210 B4A. So, and Mrs. Quist will likely claim what it was my fault. The order was not signed, as I allegedly refused to sign the proposed order she sent to me. And this is exactly what she said. However, I have in my possession the proposed order, what she sent to me and the proposed order which she sent to the court. And that's completely different proposed orders. That's completely different documents. And this morning I sent both of these both of these documents to the court. So, Your Honor, you can see and you can see that's not the same document which she sent to me and which she sent to the court. That's completely different. And you can personally verify what they are different documents. Yeah. So the proposed order, as it was sent to the court, was never sent to me for approval. Never. It was simply entered as a contested motion. Even though I was never given the physical opportunity to contest it. And in response to the first and only orders sent to me for approval, I submitted my amendments, which I also sent to the court this morning. And I respectfully ask you if you can review these amendments and clarify whether I was incorrect or yeah. And would it have been procedurally correct if, in the court's view, for me to sign the order in the form in which it was sent to me by plaintiff's attorney? So I would like you to see it and to clarify it for me, if it's possible, please.
Ms. Quist.
Your Honor, I think you did state your basis at the beginning of this hearing, like I said, where I think we're all in agreement. The one issue appears to be that we stated that the court was fully apprised.
Objection, Your Honor, that's not right.
Please.
That's not the truth.
Ms. Gumaleva, you've been
No,
able
that's
to
not
speak.
the
It's her
truth.
turn.
That's
It's
not
her
the truth.
turn.
They
That's- We have to follow the rules.
But that's a lie. What
Ma'am,
can I say?
you can't, I'm going to mute you because I need to hear what Ms. Quist has to say. Go ahead, Ms. Quist.
I'm interested in getting the order entered. I think you stated the basis at the beginning of the hearing. The big objection from what I'm sifting through all these pleadings, the big objection is that we stated the court was fully apprised of the premises, which we always do because both counsel argued on behalf of their clients. I declined to remove that because words have meaning, and I know that she is setting this up for an appeal. So I am being very careful about it. Having said that, I think we can all agree on defendant's motion to set aside the default is denied. Defendant is entitled to a hearing on damages. The plaintiff bears the burden of proof that the proposed division is equitable under the court rules. Defendant may not participate in the hearing. Defendant is not allowed to engage in discovery and remains in default, and this hearing was scheduled for today. I think we're all in agreement on that. I would like to move this case forward. And I have a concern about removing a sentence that states that you were apprised by counsel of the situation at an oral argument and in pleadings. So I have an objection to that. I have a case up on appeal right now and words have meaning. So that was my objection. That's why we couldn't get the order entered.
Right, Ms. Gumaleva, is that correct? Is that what you're objecting
No.
to? Can I finish let me finish my question first?
Sure.
Okay. So is your objection, is it to that phrase that the court was fully advised in the premises?
My objection, no, that's not an only one.
Okay, so can you very briefly and very short, clearly say what exactly in the proposed order you're objecting to?
Скажите коротко, но чем вы не согласны?
In other words, let me make it even clearer. What in the proposed order is something that I did not say in the transcript?
В этом приказе какая часть вы не согласны?
I would like to ask the court to clarify whether defendants
All right, no. I need you to answer my question. What
Sure.
in the proposed order does not reflect what I said in
So
the transcript?
right now, Mrs. Chris said what I
And then,
Compared.
я могу участвовать, это то, что она сейчас, что я не могу участвовать. Однако в ордере этого не написано. Там написано, что я могу участвовать. И если я действительно могу участвовать в damages hearing, я не против. Но это процессуальная ошибка. То есть мы не можем вести приказ, который противоречит транскрипту. А он противоречит транскрипту. И кроме
Stop and let her translate, okay?
Говорите, пожалуйста, маленькими частями, я не могу так много.
Смотрите, значит, проблема в том, что она написала, что я могу участвовать в этих
The
hearings.
problem
А
is,
мне на суде не дали в них участвовать.
the problem is that she said she can be participating in this order, but she got paperwork that says she's not allowed to participate in this order.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, that's fine, but that's not correct. And second,
All right, just a minute. I'm looking at the last page of the transcript. Let's see, I'll even say what page it is.
Она смотрит последнюю страницу.
I can actually send it to you.
No, don't send me anything, okay?
No, I
That's not
already sent-
appropriate. Okay,
already
just a
sent.
minute,
Nine.
just a minute.
Подождите,
Okay, look at page 9 of the transcript.
Yes.
смотрите 9-ю страницу.
And it says, and I quote, "My understanding of the case law is it's plaintiff's burden to show that the proposed division is equitable and that the defendant really has they're entitled to attend, but they cannot participate."
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. But according to Mrs. Quist, the proposed order, I can participate, and this is not correct.
Your Honor, I just read from her order, right here.
No!
Oh, ma'am, just a minute, just,
What I read to you in court just now is her proposed order. We accept and agree to that. We accept that. I just objected to that one sentence being taken out because both counsel argued. But what I read to you just now is from her order, and we accept that.
okay, then
That's it.
order, I'll sign that.
Thank you.
Приказ
I'm
будет
signing your proposed order, Ms. Gumaleva.
Она посылает вам приказ.
Что?
Она посылает вам сейчас подписанный приказ.
It is, Your Honor, it's the 42525 order. It's the one I just read. There's been, yeah.
Да, я хотела сказать, что в моем proposed order такого не было. У меня мой ордер прямо по тексту транскрипта. У меня не было таких слов. Может судья посмотреть, если она хочет.
She telling that in her proposed order she did not have this, and the judge can check and verify that she did not have it in her proposed order.
I just read it to you, Your Honor. We can email it to you. It's got her signature on it.
Она
Окей.
рисует это.
Okay. So at this point, then we have an order
Yes.
and we can proceed.
Я не поняла, что сейчас происходит.
В этот момент она говорит, что у нас есть уже приказ, и мы можем продолжать процесс.
То есть она подписывает какой-то приказ.
So you have signed order. Can you verify, please? She's misunderstanding.
Yes.
Какой она подписала приказ?
What order we're talking about that been signed?
Your order, your proposed order that you sent.
Ваше
Окей.
с предложением, которое вы сами
Почему? Спасибо, да. Почему тогда в таком случае мой proposed order не был подписан месяц назад? Потому что если бы он был подписан месяц назад, уже на данный момент был бы подан мой motion for reconsideration, damages hearing были бы отменены.
Our question is why her order was not signed a month ago. If this order would be signed a month ago, then скажите, как вы сказали последнюю?
Тогда бы motion for I would submit my motion for reconsideration, and this damages hearing would be cancelled. So
I objected to that sentence. And if this court overrules that and agrees that this order will be entered, that's fine. But I have the right to object to orders also, not just Ms. Guliva. I'm trying to get
А,
moved forward.
Просто проблема в том, что это была намеренная, this is a manipulation of the process, because she didn't give me even 1 day to submit my motion for reconsideration. And
All right, no, at this point, no, we're moving forward. I will not make a ruling on the damages hearing in order to give you time for the motion for reconsideration, but we're here today. And we're going to go forward with that damages hearing. If we need to, depending on what my decision is on the motion for reconsideration, we may have further proceedings, but we are moving forward today.
Анна сейчас предлагает перейти дальше на следующую тему.
All right.
То есть у нас будут damages hearing.
So that will she have additional hearing for her motion consideration?
You don't get a hearing on a motion for reconsideration, but my decision after reading the motion for reconsideration, if I grant it, might result in additional hearings. If it doesn't, then today will be it.
Это будет ее решение. Если она так решит, то она сделает дополнительное слушание. Если нет, то сегодня это все закончится.
But since we're all here, we might as well take advantage of the time, and it will not be a waste of time,
Как мы все
То
сегодня
есть
собрались, да,
regardless of my decision.
это не зависит от ее решения.
То есть что значит это все закончится сегодня?
So what means it will be it?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What does it mean when you said that today it will be it?
Well, if I deny the motion for reconsideration, then your next step would be the Court of Appeals.
Если она
No, I
сегодня...
know, yeah, I know.
Okay,
Why today?
because it's the most efficient and it was notified, it was noticed out for today. We have everyone here. I have a whole half morning set aside for this. So we're
Yeah.
going to go forward.
У нее сегодня полутра для этой встречи, поэтому нам нужно продолжать идти вперед.
I understand she has the right to a motion for reconsideration. I'm not objecting to that at all. She doesn't, and I think it's in the best interest of judicial economy to move forward, so I'm not going to object to a motion for reconsideration.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's in the best interest of everyone to use our time today, so we're going to. All right. Ms. Gumaleva, I'm going to mute you. All right, Ms. Quist.
Your Honor, as you know, we're here for a damages hearing today. If the court allows, I'll take testimony from Mr. Vera in regard to the facts surrounding the prenuptial agreement and the judgment of divorce that will demonstrate that it is equitable under the circumstances. As this court knows, this is a 1.5-year marriage. Ms. Gumaleva left the marriage in October of 2023 or 2022. Mr. Vera will testify to that. And we will go through the prenuptial agreement. There are a few housekeeping matters, but I think they're better addressed at the end because it gives some context if this court allows. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Please call your first witness.
I call Christian Vera.
Right, would you raise your right hand? Would you state your name for the record?
Christian Vera,
Would you spell your name?
CHRISTIAN, V like in victory, ERA.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
Right, thank you. Before we
Welcome.
proceed, Ms. Gumaleva, you seem to understand English well. My feeling would keep Ms. O'Mealy as an interpreter here so that if you don't understand something, you can ask for it to be translated. Are you okay with that, or do you want
Should I raise my hand, or how will
raise your hand would be fine.
Okay, yeah.
Are you
Понимаете, то вы можете просто слушать. Если вы что-то не поняли, поднимите руку, чтобы я помогла.
Хорошо.
Еще
are you okay? You agree with proceeding that way, as opposed to her translating every sentence, every word?
Is it a question to Miss Gumaleva?
Yes.
Да, вы хотите так продолжать, или вы хотите, чтобы переводилось каждое предложение?
No, вы можете переводить то, что я не понимаю. Я буду просто поднимать руку, и тогда вы переводите.
She will raise her hand if she doesn't understand, and then I will add the help.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, Ms. Quist.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Vera, I'm going to ask you a series of questions surrounding not so much as your marriage, but as to the prenuptial agreement and to the judgment of divorce, as you know, and has been discussed. A judgment of divorce really has to be fair and equitable under the circumstances, even if a person is in default. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions surrounding.
Ms. Quist, hold on, I'm sorry. I think you might be speaking too fast.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't
speaking
think
too
so.
fast. Okay.
Ms.
I'll-
Ms. O'Malley, are you able to translate that for Ms. Gumaleva?
Repeat the question, please.
Are you
Ms.
able to translate what Ms. Quist just said for Ms. Gumaleva?
She has to repeat it again. That was fast. It's sad.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Mr. Vera, as you know, the court must do equity and must decide that a judgment is equitable and fair in light of the surrounding circumstances, even when a person is in default. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions regarding the prenuptial agreement and the judgment of divorce. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And I'm going to ask you to not guess or to not try and put words in the other person's mouth. Just answer the questions. If you can't, say you can't answer it, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. It's like housekeeping, what's your current address?
5440 East Palmdale Court, Wyoming, Michigan, 49519.
Yes, and these are foundational questions that we ask in all of our cases. Are you married?
Yes.
To whom are you married?
Deanna Gumleva.
When were you married?
We were married February 11th of 2023 at Fairway Estate Court in Valrico, Florida.
Okay. Did you have any children together?
No.
Is this your first marriage?
No.
Did you own property before the marriage?
Yes.
Did Ms. Gomleva own property before the marriage?
Yes.
And because of this, did the two of you decide to take any precautions in regard to protecting your property in the event of a divorce?
Yes. I had a prenup done prior to marriage by Steve Elkins. During that meeting, Deanna signed it. She also signed off on any assets moving forward after the marriage, because in her eyes, if the marriage didn't work, she wanted the divorce to be done so she didn't have to spend any equitable monies to fight it in court, as well as she didn't want people to think she married me for my money.
And did both of you live?
Ms. Quist, she's
Sorry.
raising her hand. Ms. O'Malley, can you translate, please?
Yes, I want to ask to repeat the last phrase.
Mr. Vera, could you repeat what the last sentence you said?
Pertaining to Deanna signing off on future assets of the marriage, her reasoning to Steve Elkins was because of the fact that she didn't want to incur cost of a divorce. If the divorce was needed, it would be done. And she didn't want people to think that she married me for money. That's why she signed off on the prenup as well as the future assets of the marriage.
Он сказал, что у вас был договор, который вы подписали до заключения брака, чтобы если брак не сработает и у вас будет развод, чтобы люди не говорили, что вы вышли замуж за деньги. И чтобы не тратить деньги на бракоразводный процесс.
Mr. Vera, so you were married in January of 2023 or February?
Yes, I will. I'm sorry, did I say January? It was February 11th, 2023,
Okay.
3 days before Valentine's Day.
When did Ms. Gomleva leave the marriage?
Deanna left the United States to go back to her home country of Russia, to Moscow, to finish renovations of an apartment that she had bought prior to the marriage.
When was that?
That was in October of 23. I can't give you the exact date, but it was middle to end of October.
So she's remained with you as a marital couple for 7 or 8 months?
Yeah, I haven't seen her since she left to go to Russia in October of 23.
Okay.
I didn't even know that she was even back in the country until maybe November of 2024. I didn't even know she was here.
At the time of the marriage and the signing of the prenuptial agreement, what were your assets?
Oh, I got a lot. I had a lot. I own a couple restaurants in town. I own property in Florida. I own my 401ks with Morgan Stanley. I have my crypto accounts. I have my stock ownership when I sold my company job.com in 2020, December of 2021.
Let me ask
I
you
just got a lot.
a different way. Let me ask you a different way.
Okay.
Were they all stated in the prenuptial agreement?
Yes, everything that that all my assets were actually they were actually done prior to the prenup. And it was
Okay.
because I had a will and trust set up in case because I was having multiple back surgeries over the I lost my brother in 2017 and he didn't have a will or a trust. So therefore I did a will, a trust because I had 3 major back surgeries and neck surgery from 2017 till August of 2023. And I wanted to make sure that all my assets and all that were protected. So that way, if something happened to me, they would be protected. So
At the time of the signing of the prenuptial agreement, did Ms. Gumlieva list her assets?
yes.
Okay. And did you state that she owned an apartment or owns an apartment in Moscow?
I helped her pay the apartment off in Moscow prior to our marriage. We got it all paid off. We bought almost all of the renovation materials prior to her coming to the United States for our marriage.
Hold
So all that.
hold on, Mr. Vera, hold on.
Mm.
Ms. O'Malley, can you translate?
Да, он утверждает, что он участвовал в покупке материалов для ремонта вашей недвижимости в Москве и участвовал материально в этом ремонте и помогал вам. She's muted. I cannot hear what she's saying.
You're just translating at this point for Mr. Vera, for Ms. Gumlieva, so she can understand what's being said.
But I cannot hear if she understood me because she said something, but I cannot hear.
Okay, Ms. Gumlieva, did you understand?
Госпожа Гумилева, вы понимаете?
Да, я поняла, но это ложь.
She understood everything, but it's not true.
Well, that's fine, but this is not the time to bring that up. Just
Сейчас,
checking to make sure you understood.
сейчас мы не будем обсуждать, мы просто убедимся, что вы поняли, о чем он говорил.
Okay, Mr. Vera.
Thank you.
So with that, with her leaving, she went to go finish the renovation. There was still labor that needed to be done. There were some other things that needed to be purchased, but therefore I conceded that the apartment, because she bought it prior to us getting married, that would be her hers, as well as any of her bank accounts that she had over in Russia. As well as I had bought her a 2015 Mercedes that she didn't like, and we sold it and got a Kia Seltos.
And I'm just going to follow up on that since we just touched on the subject. What
Ms. Quist, hold on. Mr. Vera, could you repeat what you said and just slow down a little bit? Because I think it's the speed at which everyone is talking that's causing the
Okay.
difficulty.
I understand, Your Honor. And Deanna's English is better than what she wants to say. But anyways, during that time frame, she left to go back to Moscow to finish renovation of her place. I had already finished paying the apartment off. I had already bought about 70 to 80% of the materials needed. When she went back, there was other things that she needed to buy to finish a kitchen and bathroom and find labor. So
Is it something that I need to interpret for her, or we can continue?
Ms. Gumaleva, do you understand?
Вы понимаете? She's saying something, I cannot hear.
Can you give a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Вы понимаете, скажете так или нет? I guess she understood.
Okay.
So with that being said, I that's hers. It was she originally had bought it prior to the marriage, but she had probably about a $40,000, $50,000 debt on the property, which I helped her pay off. I also had given her a 2015 Mercedes. She didn't like it, so we sold it. We got her a 2022 Kia Seltos. So that way, when we went and we had the prenuptial set or signed, we listed the bank accounts, her own bank accounts, I believe it was her own bank accounts that was listed in that, as well as the 2015 Mercedes. But at that time, we still had it. We hadn't sold it yet, and the Moscow property.
I have a question for you, Mr. Vera, just since you just brought up the Mercedes. You sold it and purchased a Kia for Ms. Gumaleva?
Yes, I did, a Kia Seltos.
What happened to that car?
I moved my daughter and I used it to move, and we were parked on the side of the street, and somebody that had been drinking either passed out or was on their phone, and they ran into the back end of the Seltos, totaling it.
Is there
That vehicle sat from October till this happened December, I believe it was December 8th of 2024. The vehicle sat, and I would occasionally drive it because it's not good to let a car sit for over a year and not driving it.
and was the car insured?
Yes, I did all the insurance. And it was actually titled in both of our names because Deanna didn't go through and get a Michigan license in order to continue insurance. So I had to be the one to insure the vehicle. As a matter of fact, I think they took her off the insurance because she had been here since 2022, late fall of 2022, November,
Mr.
I
Vera, can
believe.
you stop a minute?
Yeah.
Ms. O'Mealy, can you translate? I saw a hand.
Yes, which part is Diana did not understood because she raised her hand like before? Can she speak? I cannot hear her.
Да, после того, как он сказал про машину, что-то там про insurance, вот с этого момента я
Вы поняли, что произошло с автомобилем, что она стояла в стороне возле дома все это время, пока вас не было? Вы поняли, да?
Это его сказки, да.
Вы хотите про иншуранс именно уточнить, да?
Да, что после этого, что он сказал?
She wants to know what Mr. Vera said about insurance part.
Okay, all right. Mr. Vera, could you slow down and repeat the part about the insurance?
Or in America, we need to have our vehicles insured in case someone hits us, or in case the vehicle is damaged. It protects us as individuals in the car. If we're critically injured, it also protects the car being replaced. I paid for the insurance. I continue to pay for the insurance all through the marriage, which isn't an issue. So that way the vehicle would be properly covered during this time.
Он платил и платит за страховку этой машины, и это для него не проблема, чтобы этот автомобиль был покрыт страховкой на случай, если будет какой-то авария или кто-то будет в машине. Continue.
Just a quick question, Mr. Vera. How long have you known Diana Gumaleva?
How long have I known her?
Yes.
I met her December 13th or 14th of 2020.
Have you ever had a problem communicating with her because of the
No.
language barrier?
No,
Thank you. Back to the car. So it was insured at the time it was hit.
yes, it was.
Who was it insured by?
It was insured by Hanover Citizens.
Okay. And what have they done in regard to the car?
It's a total loss. At the time, I wasn't sure what the loss was. So, when Deanna got upset about the car being wrecked, I had indicated that there was about $17,000 worth of damage to the vehicle. And I had offered to give her that or get her another vehicle to replace of close to the same value or the similar value or similar vehicle. Of course, she got upset and said I did it on purpose, which I don't know how that's possible. But it was total. The Citizen Hanover has been sending me numerous emails because they need to have the title signed off. But because both of our, it's not.
Mr. Vera, can you back up and
Yeah.
slow down, please?
Okay, sorry. The Hanover has been asking me to provide a signed title back to them so they can close the case on the insurance claim. The title is, instead of it being Christian or Deanna, it reads Christian and Deanna. So therefore, I have to either have the court allow me to sign the title in behalf of Deanna, but it needs to be both our signatures in order for the case to be closed. They found out that they agreed to pay $25,000 for the damage of the vehicle.
And my understanding, Mr. Vera, is that the check will be,
She has her hands raised. So back up a little bit, Mr. Vera.
I can
Okay.
repeat anything he's just said about
Okay, good. All right, thank you.
Он утверждает, что когда машина была повреждена, ее нужно было ремонтировать, для ремонта нужно было 17 тысяч, поэтому он эту машину отдал страховой компании, и для того, чтобы отдать страховой компании техпаспорт, на техпаспорте должна была быть ваша подпись. Но так как на техпаспорте стояло его и ваше имя, ему нужно было разрешение из суда, чтобы поставить подпись за вас. Continue. I was just interpreting about the signature and the title that you had to do.
Which I have not done.
Those names.
okay.
Yeah, which I have not done yet. So
Okay.
Он еще не поставил эту подпись.
And the $25,000 check will be given to Ms. Gumliva, correct?
that's correct, because I bought the vehicle for her as a gift. And on January 3rd, I told her that I would either try to, at the time, I thought it was only 17,000. Now, since that last communication between the two of us via WhatsApp, I found out that that they were going to total the vehicle and they were going to issue a check for, I believe it's 25,000. It might be a couple dollars more, but it's the $25,000 is the value that they say the vehicle is worth. And therefore, because I bought it as a gift for her, she deserves that.
That's consistent with the prenuptial agreement, given that it was a car, it was a Mercedes that she chose to sell. Correct? And buy a Kia.
That's correct.
Okay. So this is,
I'm not sure she understood you, Ms. Quist. Could you say it again and slow down?
okay. So given that the two of you decided to sell the Mercedes and purchase a Kia,
Так как вы оба приняли решение продать Mercedes и купить Kia,
that is consistent with the prenuptial agreement, the judgment, she will receive a $25,000 check.
это сходится с заявлением, которое было принято, что вы получите 25 тысяч чек, так как это был ваш подарок.
Mr. Vera, has Ms. Gumliva collected her personal belongings from your house here in Michigan?
No, actually, that's what sparred all this fighting in court was that she wanted to come get her car and her items at the house. And that's when I said that if she's welcome to come get the items in the house, but there's an issue. And that's when I explained about the car. At no given point was she even concerned that myself and my daughter were almost hit by this guy. We were 25 yards from the car. Right away, it was more of a concern that I did this to hurt her and to get back at her, versus any concern on any safety. But when the issue arose that the car wouldn't be there, that's when all this spiraled down the ugly slope that it's at.
And you will have, and if we can get a court order to sign the title, then you will turn over a check for $25,000 to Ms. Gumliba, correct?
That's correct. I think I also indicated that I could send it to your office and you could
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. I'm happy to be the person.
but she's welcome to all her things. It's just I can send them to her.
Are they
Oh
valuable?
yeah. I mean, Deanna didn't. I treated Deanna good. I mean, she Saint Laurent leather coat, Burberry trench, Christian Louboutin shoes. She's got a lot of nice. I bet just in those 3 items, it's close to $10,000.
And
I mean, they're all hers.
They're all hers. They're all packaged and ready for her. And they're in exactly the same state as she left them.
As of just recently, I moved them out of my closet into the spare bedroom closet, but they're still on hangers. They need to be packed up and sent. But I would be willing to send those to wherever she's living, or if she wants to come and pack them up herself and grab them, which I don't know why she would want that. I can make arrangements for her to meet Alba and them at the house, but I would prefer that maybe I don't know. It might be easier for her to look at them and pack them. So.
Okay.
She raised her hand.
She raised her hand. Oh,
She seems to be okay.
okay.
Besides what we have described, was there any joint property that the two of you purchased during the 8 months that you lived together as husband and wife?
No.
Mr. Vera.
As a matter of fact, at that given point in time, I had sold my company and I wasn't working the way that I should because the company wasn't paying for what they were supposed to, and I ended up having to take them to litigation. So therefore I didn't work and I haven't worked. So therefore I haven't been able to really acquire any more assets after that time. So.
And looking at the judgment of divorce, in your opinion, is it consistent with the prenuptial agreement, given what we've talked about today, which I knew we would have to discuss?
Yes.
Okay. And do you consider the terms of the judgment fair and equitable?
Yes.
And at the time of the signing of the prenuptial agreement, did you and Ms. Gumliba consider the terms of the prenuptial agreement to be fair and equitable?
Yes. She even was given the opportunity to speak with counsel, Audra McClure, which she never reached out to be able to make sure that all this was fair for her.
And I have reviewed that email, Mr. Vera, so she did not follow up. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions in regard to, it's really just procedural, but it's jurisdictional also. Were you a resident of the state of Michigan for 180 days prior to the filing of the complaint for divorce?
Yes.
Were you a resident of Kent County for 10 days prior to the marriage?
Yes.
And the filing of the, okay. Has there been a breakdown of the marital relationship to the extent that there is no reasonable possibility of reconciliation?
Yes, we tried counseling, that didn't work. So I just want Deanna to be happy. You know, I want her to move forward in life. She's smart, she's intelligent, she's beautiful. She can acquire anything that she wants that she sets her mind to. I want her to move forward. I couldn't make her happy. I don't want her to continue to live, and it's best that we move and separate. And I need to live my life. I'm 61 years old as of the 4th of May, and I need to move forward in my life as well and focus on a sick father, focus on my daughter, focus on my life. So.
And I have to ask this question, but I guess we could ask Ms. Gumliva because she's here. To your knowledge, is Ms. Gumliva pregnant at this time?
No.
I have a question that I did not ask earlier. During the marriage, did you provide Ms. Gumliva with money to send to her parents?
From the time we met, I would give her monies. Let me say, not from the time I met her in December. She brought a lot of good to my life at that point in time, and she got sick a couple times. I made sure that I sent her medicine or sent her money to go to the doctors when she was in St. Martin. At that point in time, it was somewhere after her birthday, the 26th of May, that we decided, as a matter of fact, that's when I proposed to her. And we decided to make our relationship go. And during that time, I gave her monies to be able to pay for her rent because things were tight. It was COVID time. I also sent monies that I thought she was sending to her parents, only to find out that she hasn't had a relationship with her parents for years, as well as I was sending money for her to pay off her mortgage in Moscow. Not to mention when she went out in October of 23, I don't remember if it was Uzbekistan or Azerbaijan. I had to fly her there so that way I could send her money to Western Union because of the sanctions on the Russian bank. I was also sending her money when she was living in Russia until the war happened and sanctions didn't allow me to send money through TransferWise or whatever it was called at the time. But yes, I took care of her when I told her that we were married, and I told her that when we got married, I didn't want to be divorced. And so we moved forward in that. And but evidently the monies that were being sent to Deanna for her parents never got to them. So.
I don't have anything further at this time, unless the court has any questions. I believe the judge.
I do not.
Okay, thank you.
And my only other remaining question would be whether or not we want to move on and address the motions, the other motions that were up for Thursday.
I'm happy to it. Is that the one about the court live streaming?
Yes, I believe there's, let me pull that up. Sorry, my technology is slow today.
Do have a question at the end too.
Go ahead and ask the question while I'm looking this.
As we move forward and all that, I do know that I still have Deanna insured. I pay for her insurance and her cell phone. Once this is done, I need to know how to address. She has the ability for Cobra, which she can pay. But those are a couple things that I have continued to pay during the time of this being separated.
I can answer those questions for you.
All right,
Okay.
hold on, Ms. Quist. Could you repeat that, Mr. Vera? Maybe it's a little slower.
Since Deanna's been gone, I just need to figure out what's going to happen at the end of this. As I have continued to pay for her health insurance, her dental insurance, her vision insurance, her cell phone during this time frame. And then once this is done and over with, I just need to know how to address that so that way she knows that she has to be responsible to pay for her own insurance because she gets Cobra and her own cell bill after that.
Все это время, пока вас не было, он оплачивал вашу страховку на здоровье, на дантиста и остальные страховые полисы. Он просто хочет знать, что когда закончится этот процесс, как дальше ему адресовать вашу страховку, потому что он хочет, чтобы вы были застрахованы даже после этого процесса. Do you understand?
Mr. Vera, I can help you with that when this is
Okay.
over. Okay.
Thank you.
And Ms. Quist, it looks to me, and I guess I'll ask Ms. Van Noller to confirm, but it appears to me, since we just dealt with the objection to the proposed order and the motion to enter the order, that the only remaining thing for Thursday is the motion to show cause that Ms. Gumleva has filed, and I believe that relates to unauthorized recording and publication of the court hearing.
Okay.
Let me just ask, Ms. Gumleva, do you agree that's the remaining motion?
I'm fine with addressing it.
Okay, just
Согласна с ее заявлением.
Что она сказала?
Can you repeat your question?
that the only motion left for Thursday at this point is the motion to show cause regarding the unauthorized recording and publication of the hearing.
Вы согласны с тем, что у вас еще останется незакрытым для четверга то, что вы хотите рассмотреть незаконную видеозапись?
Да, конечно.
Yes, she's agreed.
Я только не получила еще notice.
She did not receive any notice about it.
Это
You
было
filed.
отправлено по почте? Или потому что в электронном виде до сих пор мне ничего не пришло.
In her email, she did not receive anything.
You filed the motion and it was noticed up for Thursday, I understand.
Вы подали заявление, которое было вам отвечено, что будет рассматриваться в четверг.
Да, но мне нужна ссылка на слушание и официальная notice от корта, от суда.
She did not have official notice from the court, and she did not have a link for the Thursday meeting.
All right, well, the question is, do we want to do that? Are you prepared to handle that today?
No, I am not ready now. I want to do it Thursday. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then, is there anything further?
Есть ли что-то, что вы хотели бы продолжить?
Я? Сейчас?
Is a question for her?
No, it's for
Yeah.
everyone.
Нет,
Sure.
это вопрос для всех.
I do have a question does Ms. Gumleva agree to sign the title so she can receive her check? If she does not, I would ask for a court order so that Mr. Vera can sign the title because it has become an issue. There will be a check waiting for her for $25,000.
Госпожа Гумилева, вы согласны подписать техпаспорт, чтобы он закончил с этим автомобилем, вы получили 25 тысяч его стоимости, потому что это сейчас незаконченный процесс.
Но он и будет оставаться незаконченным, пока мы не закончим с судом, потому что, к сожалению, до суда суду не дали действительную информацию, какой была в действительности каким был в действительности наш брак. К сожалению, все, что говорят, 90% того, что говорит противоположная сторона, это ложь.
She is not willing to sign the title until the process will be over. With the divorce, the process will be over because 90% what she hears from Mr. Vera is not true, according to her.
Mr. Vera is receiving rather insistent communications from the title company and the insurance company to get this done, regardless of how this ends. These mechanical steps must be taken. Is it possible to get a court order to have this? I could take the $25,000 and put it in a trust account to be held for her. I don't mind. I'm just trying to wrap up as much as possible so that as we move forward, we don't have to keep going back.
Okay, that is reasonable. That is a very typical way of handling these things during the pendency of a divorce.
To translate, please. Лучше
Да.
всего.
Вы хотите перевести ту часть, которую
Да,
сказала?
да, 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 что сказал адвокат противоположной стороны.
Yes, she wants to go back and interpret for me to everything we just said. Она сказала, что вне зависимости от исхода вашего дела по поводу развода, эта подпись должна быть поставлена, чтобы закрыть это и перейти к следующему этапу. Если вы не согласны поставить лично эту подпись, то она просит, чтобы суд разрешил ему поставить эту подпись от вас обоих, чтобы наконец-то получить эти $25 000, которые, если вы не хотите взять лично, она положит на отдельный счет, который будет вас ждать после окончания процесса.
Спасибо.
Okay.
So yes, I will grant, oops, Mr. Vera?
I just Your Honor, they've been asking me since our divorce hearing on the 28th, I believe, of February. They've been bugging me monthly, and it's not just them; it's the salvage company. So I'm getting bombarded with both sides of it, and so
I will grant an order requiring that the title be signed, that the proceeds be put in Ms. Quist's trust account to be held until the final determination and distribution of the property in this case. Ms. Gumlieva, signing the title does not mean you agree. It's just getting the insurance company and the salvage company and all of these other people out of the mix.
Почему вы не соглашаетесь подписать этот техпаспорт? Потому что страховая компания ждет исхода, чтобы вам же вернуть эти деньги. Если вы не хотите этого делать, то судья сейчас вынесет решение, что этот паспорт будет подписан в любом случае, но он будет на счету у адвоката вашего мужа. Будет отдельный счет, который независимый, который будет этот чек ждать вас после окончания развода. Если вы не подпишете, то суд вынесет приговор, что он подпишет этот техпаспорт без вас, но деньги все равно будут ваши.
Что от меня сейчас требуется?
What is you want from her side? Does she need to sign that title?
Yes.
Они хотят, чтобы вы подписали этот техпаспорт, чтобы закрыть дело со страховой компанией автомобиля.
Again, that does not mean you agree with the value, that's the value.
Если вы не согласны с оценкой этого чека, с оценкой автомобиля, это другой вопрос.
That argument would still be available to you if the default is set aside.
Вы можете всегда это оспорить, стоимость этого автомобиля. Вы не согласны с этим?
Меня спросили, да, если не согласна. Я по поводу подписания любых документов я бы хотела проконсультироваться со своим консультантом сначала, а потом уже что-то подписывать.
Before she signed any documentation, she would like to have consultation with her representative.
That's fine. That is always available to you, but I am entering an order today that title be signed immediately.
Это вы можете сделать, проконсультироваться, но сегодня она выдает приказ, что этот техпаспорт будет подписан сразу же сегодня.
Mr. Vera, you're represented by counsel, so it's really go ahead, Ms. Quist.
Thank you. So is the title going to be assigned to Mr. Vera, or is Ms. Gumlieva ordered to sign the title immediately? I don't care which one.
Trying to think what would be the easiest way to resolve this. I think assigning it to Mr. Vera. That's what I'll order, that it be assigned to him, with the value being an open issue as far as the marital estate goes at this point.
Okay. And thank you, Your Honor. Will you be drafting the order, or do you want me to draft it?
I'd prefer that you draft it.
I will.
If you get it to me ASAP,
Okay.
I will sign it.
I'll get it to you within the next hour. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right. And we are adjourned, and we will see you on Thursday.
thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
Встреча в четверг. Thank you.